Hello, friends. Let's see a very important topic in Indian polity, that is fundamental rights. Fundamental rights. Now, before proceeding further, let us understand what do we mean by fundamental and rights. So, let us first understand what do we mean by rights. So, friends, rights. So, we have seen that we as an individual, we as a citizen, we get certain rights. So, what do we mean by right? So, right means all those demands, requirements that cannot be denied by the individual or any entity whom you are demanding. For example, if you go to a bank, let's say Ram went to a bank. Now Ram asked for money. So if Ram has money in his or her account, so it is the right of the bank, it is the right of a Ram that he can withdraw it anytime. Now, if Ram does not have sufficient amount in his account, so he will ask for a loan or he will take borrowing. So borrowing, if Ram is asking for a loan, so that does not become his right, and that depends on the discretion of the bank whether they will give loan to Ram or not. But if Ram has account in that bank and that account has sufficient money which Ram is demanding, then it is the right of the bank. It is the right of a Ram to withdraw money, and bank cannot deny. So, to this example, we have seen rights are all those demands or requirements that cannot be denied under any circumstances. So we have understood what are rights. Now let us understand what do we mean by fundamental. So here, as a citizen of this country, we are given certain rights. That is, we can demand or we can have a requirement of certain stuff, certain things which are fundamental in nature, which are very basic in nature, which are very primary in nature, and that cannot be denied by state. Now here state means government. There are also certain rights which not only which are not imposed or which are not liable on government, but also on private individuals. So in short, we can say that fundamental rights are all those demands by a citizen to its state or a government which government cannot deny. So fundamental rights form the very essential, very cardinal, very important part of our polity, our government. Now let us understand where are these rights enshrined. So friends, they are enshrined in Constitution of India that came in effect in 26 Jan 1950, and this day is celebrated as Republic Day. So friends, the fundamental rights are enshrined in the Constitution of India that was promulgated or that was came effect in 26 Jan 1950. Now the next question comes in our mind, that in which part of the Constitution or where are these fundamental rights are located? So friends, they are located in part 3 of our Constitution, from Article 12 to 35. From Article 12 to 35. And effectively, the fundamental rights are given from Article 14 to 30. And from 12 and 13, these are mechanisms. Similarly, 31 to 35 are certain conditions. The core and effective rights are enshrined in Part 3 of the Constitution of India between 14 to 30. Now, let us list down what are the fundamental rights. So, first right is right to equality. Right to equality, that is from Article 14 to 18. Now, second right is right to freedom, that is in from Article 19 to 22. Third is right against exploitation. Right against exploitation, that is from Article 23 to 24. And right to freedom of religion, that is from 25 to 28. And the last right, that is cultural and educational rights, that is 29 and 30. Beside these 5 articles, we also have to understand there are some extra knowledge. That is, we had a 6th right, that was right to property under Article 31. And friends, this fundamental right was removed by 44th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1977. And it was a post-emergency time when Mr. Morarji Desai ji was the Prime Minister of India and the leader of the government of Janata Party. And there is one more, right to constitutional remedy. That is also fundamental in nature, but not considered as core fundamental right. But it is, in essence, is also fundamental to the fundamental right, that is right to constitutional remedy, that comes under Article 32. Now let us discuss. So as I've said that rights or fundamental rights for that matter are all those demands which are not denied, which cannot be denied by the state. So imagine if a state deny an individual or citizen any of these rights, so what is the remedy where that person will go to redress his grievances? So under Article 32, a detailed procedure has been laid down that where an aggrieved individual who was denied or exploited or extracted stripped out of his fundamental right. So under Article 32, he gets a fundamental right to constitutional remedy. Besides, there is also a fundamental right that is under Article 226, that again, it gives the mechanism through which a person can complain or redress his grievance in case if his or her fundamental right is violated or stripped off. We will see all those things in detail when they come. Now, the first fundamental right, that is comes under Article 14. So Article 14 says it has 2 lines. Number 1, every person, whether it's citizen or a foreigner, gets equality before law. Imagine, consider every person will be equal before law. Second, every person will get equal protection of law. So friend, these two are different concepts but are similar in nature. So let us note one important stuff, that we know that the fundamental rights that are enshrined in part 3 of the Constitution, they are inspired from US Constitution. And that is under US Constitution, the chapter of fundamental rights considered as US Bill of Rights, that was declared after the American Revolution, through which American colonies has thrown out the British out of their territory. Now, what do you mean by equality before law? So equality before law is a British concept. It is a British concept. So it is a British concept. It says that in the eyes of law, every individual, irrespective of gender, irrespective of caste, irrespective of religion, irrespective of ethnicity, irrespective of linguistic predispositions or linguistic considerations, any culture, whatever the individual's identity may be, he or she will be treated equal before law. Means, for any law, there shall not be any discrimination between that individual, though it has certain exceptions. For example, we have certain exceptions for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. We have certain exceptions for president and governor. So that is a difference too. But here the concept that we have to understand, that is equality before law. It is a British concept, and it means that in the eyes of law, in the eyes of legislature, in the eyes of statute, in the eyes of government, in the eyes of court, every individual shall be equal. There shall not be any discrimination. So friends, here what we have understood, equality before law is a British concept, and it says that every individual is equal irrespective of his or her identity. Now, secondly, what is equal protection of law? So equal protection of law, it is a US concept. It comes from US concept. It is a USA concept. It says that not only there shall be equality before law, but state will provide, state will take endeavors, state will take efforts to provide equal protection, to every citizen, every individual that comes under their responsibility. So here it is imposed, the Constitution under Article 14 imposing a duty, imposing a binding duty upon state here, government, or that is defined under Article 12, that they should take positive step, positive endeavor to protect every citizen. So it is, whether it is Pradhan Mantri ji of India, whether it is Ambani ji, whether it is Rahul Gandhi ji, whether it is any ordinary citizen who is living at the end of the society, it is the duty of the state to protect all of them. State will not discriminate while protecting it. If state has to choose between A and B, so under no circumstances state will make a choice when it comes to protection. So here we have to note down important fact that equal protection of law is a positive concept. It is a positive concept. Positive concept, not in that positive which is good and negative that is bad. Positive here means a entity has to make up effort. It has to make an endeavor. It has to ensure that that particular stuff is implemented. Whereas the equality before law, which is a British concept, it is a negative